Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Falling, falling, falling. Started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round number 17 of the 2020 MotoOption SX Series, live here on Start Your Systems. It is the finale. We have finally made it this far into the season. 17 rounds of Supercross is about to be behind us, but not before we crown a couple more champions here tonight in Salt Lake City. A little bit different this year, obviously not having the finale being in Las Vegas. Kind of a weird situation, but we're still having a very unique track to end the season. We're also going outside of the stadium like normal, so we'll have a lot of different talking points with that. But before we get there, obviously we have to talk about some of the scenarios that are going to be at hand tonight. First of which, we'll take a look at qualifying, which was led tonight thus far by our championship leader, Jeremy Seebold, on a 56 flat, Alexis Leclerc on a 56 flat as well, Walter Gebhardt, Logan Leitzel, and then Colton Mitchell, who is second in the championship standings, trying to come from behind and take this title away from Seebold. He ended up fifth in qualifying thus far. And of course, this is a showdown tonight, so the 250 East and West Coast classes both racing. Braden Carter, the West champion, out front in this West division with qualifying. And then Colby Eaglin, Isaiah Dickerson at the top of the East qualifying. But you also want to pay attention to the man in sixth spot, Dominic Tiberino, in it with a chance to win the championship tonight. So know why all this is important with qualifying. Obviously, gate picks coming later. But if we take a look at the 450 standings tonight, we have a championship battle that is coming down to the end here. It is a little bit of a tricky scenario. It's going to be tough for Colton Mitchell to pull this off. He's 15 points down in this championship, and he does not have the tiebreaker on Jeremy Seebold. Even if he was able to pick up the win tonight, it doesn't matter if they tie on points because Seebold has more wins regardless of what Mitchell does tonight. So Mitchell needs to get 16 more points than Jeremy Seebold somehow, some way, and there's going to be very limited championship scenarios that could come into play tonight, but we'll keep an eye on that. This 250 East division, though, definitely a lot up in the air, a lot of things that could happen and could definitely change up the flow of the night in a very, very quick turn of events, especially with this being the second of two 250 East-West showdowns this year. Now, Colby Eaglin only has a 5-point lead on his teammate Isaiah Dickerson, defending champion in this class, Isaiah Dickerson. But don't count out Dominic Tiberino, only 10 points down, yet to pick up a victory this season, but he's always there, always pushing till the very, very end, making things interesting, and we'll want to keep an eye on the number 77 machine in this 250 division tonight. So a lot to talk about, a lot that I'll try to bring you guys through. Of course, my name is Kellen Brower, here bringing you guys the action tonight on Start Your Systems. Really appreciate you guys hanging out again with us tonight. The 17th time this year, MotoOption SX getting ready to kick off here in Salt Lake City. Let's go ahead and jump in the server and see what is going on. I'll go ahead and try to give you guys a quick look at this racetrack here tonight, if I can, as they just grabbed UIDs. Pretty much length to length starting gate inside of Rice Eccles Stadium, end zone to end zone into this fairly sharp 180 degree first turn. Come out of this and guys are going to want to triple in off of that. You'd probably go on off and then triple out of the stadium. There's a little roller right here that they're going to try to downside. And then, yeah, we go outside of the stadium here this year at Rice Eccles Stadium. In this back, you got a little kind of sharp notch double that's got a really sharp landing to it. A little more than 90 degree turns outside of the stadium, and then you come shooting back in here. Kind of got to get on the brakes to make this little switchback, and then you head over the finish line jump. So we may see some guys making some desperation last couple turn passes here tonight as well. Got a little roller into a 3.53 that's tricky right there. Some guys will be having some tough times tripling that. Little 2 into a 3 right there. You can go 3-2 as well. Back across the start straight into a Supercross triple, which is pretty big out of this sharp corner here, and then a little kind of ski jump double option into another bowl corner. A lot of bowl corners this week, and then a nice little quick whip section into another U-turn back onto the start straight, and that is a lap here at Salt Lake City, the finale of MotoOption SX this year, and we're going to get racing started off any second with one of our two 250 East or West heat races, of course, because it is a showdown. Instead of having the heat races be determined by the Fast 40, it'll be the Fast 20 in both respective classes. So the 20 from the West, the 20 from the East will be in heat races. They will go 6 minutes plus a lap, with the top 9 transferring to the main event. Everybody else headed to the last chance qualifier, which will be a combined LCQ, East and West guys, 22 riders going 5 minutes in a lap, for the top 4 transferring out of that to make our 22 rider 15-minute plus 1 lap finale showdown in the 250 divisions here tonight. Of course, the West class has already been clinched a few rounds ago by Braden Carter, but Carter is on a tear of late and trying to pick up another win in this 250 division. And then the 450 guys, of course, basically a standard format tonight. 2 6-minute and a lap heat races plus two 6-minute plus 1 lap heat races, I should say. And then they will have 9 transferring out of those. Everybody else headed to the LCQ. 5-minute plus 1 lap LCQ with 4 riders going through out of that to make up our 22-rider 20-minute plus 1 lap finale here at Las Vegas, Salt Lake City. Yeah, that's still weird. I'm sorry. I know that people in Salt Lake City were probably excited to have the finale be there this year, but now it's pretty unlikely there is going to be a Salt Lake City Supercross, unfortunately. But I don't know. I personally feel that Vegas needs to be where the finale should be. It's been that way for quite some time, and Vegas is a very celebratory location. So, just my 2 cents. But we're in Salt Lake City this year for the finale, and I'm so happy to bring you guys the finale of the 2020 MotoOption SX Series, 9th year running of the MotoOption SX Series, 11th year running of the Pro MX Simulator SX Series. Pretty crazy we've been at it this long, and another year coming to a close, but happy to bring you guys all the action this year once again, and hopefully you guys enjoy the broadcast. Great to be here once again for the final round of MotoOption SX. We'll be having those heat races coming up in just a minute as you are still taking a look at me riding around the racetrack. A couple different options that I tried to point out, but I think one option that we may actually end up looking at is guys swinging wide here to bust this triple, and then you can go over this table and then 3 here so you can get the power back down and get on the gas coming out of the stadium right there. Might be an option that these 450 guys will at least try once in a while to do something different. That way you're not pitching way into the sky to get that 3 out of the stadium, and instead you're keeping the power down to the ground. But it might also cause some problems because getting over that tabletop going to be a little bit tricky to downside here tonight in Salt Lake City. Alrighty, any moment now we should be getting those heat races underway. I think they're just wrapping up UID grabs and getting the scripting done. I do know that there was a little bit of an issue earlier on tonight with the track download link, so if you guys are actually looking for it right now, I believe it is now on Google Drive instead. There were some issues that they were having with MediaFire, so you can get the track on Google Drive, but the link for that is in the description. Just head over to that page and they'll have all the appropriate links and or passwords that you need. Track was actually released a little bit earlier tonight as well, as opposed to just the standard 1 hour before UID grab. It was about a 1 hour 15-minute before UID grab launch of the track here tonight. So curious to see how that also affects the racing as we try to get started racing here tonight in Salt Lake City. Well, Rice-Eccles Stadium, as mentioned, hosting the finale here. Great to be back in Salt Lake City, as we were not there last year for not only MotoOption SX, but Real SX. Unfortunately, it doesn't, like I said, sound like Real SX will be happening in Salt Lake City this year. But very good to see that we would have been back in Salt Lake City, because I do believe it's actually a really fun race and venue that they have here with Rice-Eccles Stadium. And bummer it's not going to work out this year, but maybe next year we'll be back in Salt Lake City, and maybe it'll also be the finale again, but I have no idea about that right now. Got a question from Danger Zone 12 in chat, which is a kind of an interesting question, actually. He asked, how does UID grabs work? Basically what happens is when you're in the server, you can grab a log from the server of who is in the server. Usually, at least when I ran races back in 2013, it was by doing server comma list players. You get a list of players that end up in your log files that you can go back and look into your, like if you have access to the servers, you guys know what log files are. And you grab from the log files, and we have, or Race Director Gaming has a script that kind of runs all that, so it grabs everyone's UIDs, which is a user identification number in the game. And if you signed up with the correct UID, then it's very simple. It just gives you the, the UID that you have on the race page, and it's tied to your, times that you got from qualifying and stuff like that. Ties those together and gives you a full-formed like race list essentially of who is actually in the event tonight. So in the event that, you know, guys that qualified 39th or 40th or whatever just didn't happen to make it into the server in time, then 41st qualifier gets in. So that's how it kind of weeds out the human error aspect of it, where if you just go off of the 40 UIDs that were in the top 40 in qualifying, then sometimes you'll miss people that were in the server versus not in the server and have less than 40 people lining up on the gate. So it kind of does it all manually, but yeah, once they do that, it kind of just manually creates the races for you. Really, it just kind of gives you a script that you need to run. Like I said, it's been 7 years now since I did it, but there's a whole way that you had to do it with adding scripts to the server and running them through an override file. But I think a lot of that's changed since I did it last. I'm sure they have the process a little bit more streamlined now. A lot of it is done just kind of automatically. You got to script a lot of this stuff to make it happen. Otherwise, you'll be in UID grabbing hell by grabbing UIDs individually and putting them in your log file to then rerun the script, which is always a little bit of annoyance. Woo! Lancer, you're asking when is the Night in Vegas Part 2 coming? Well, I was hoping to get it done this week, but it's looking less and less likely that I will be able to get it done this week. It's obviously a very big project, and Part 1 took me a super long time to get done, so Part 2 is taking me a really long time to get done, and I may be able to get it done by Friday, but I don't know. It's going to be tough because I have I got some stuff I got to go film with Steve Mathis and Chris Kiefer tomorrow, so I'm not sure how long that's going to take up my day and whether or not I'll be able to finish this. So at the very worst case scenario, Part 2 of the Vegas doc will come out next week. And as for regular videos on the channel, that stuff will probably be coming back as soon as I'm done with doing this documentary, because it takes us a supremely large amount of time to actually do stuff like this, especially when you don't have a lot of help, unfortunately. Is there going to be GPs in Sim this year? I don't officially know if there will be. I heard some rumblings about it. Obviously, they've had the MXS GP Championship for a couple years in Sim. Initially, it was ran through EMF and then by RF, and I know EMF still runs a GP series themselves, but RF, they ran one last year. That's going to be a question for Jeremy Cohenauer. I'm not 100% sure whether he has that information for you guys yet or not. But yeah. And I see D-Paz, which I believe is Daniel Paz, saying I should race pro for 2021. I don't know, man. The last time I raced competitively in this game was in 2018 or maybe 2009, the beginning of 2019. I raced a couple of amateur races, and I got absolutely walked all over. I think my best result was an 8th, and I consistently finished about 15th in the couple races I did, so I don't think I'd do very well in pro anymore. I'm just getting some laps in out here, showing you guys the fast lines around this track, which are all very slow lines because, like I said, I would not make a very good pro. My last pro win would have been EMF SX 2015, a long time ago. I got a second, though. I got 2 second-place finishes in 2017 on the 250 East region. But those glory days are long gone. I am not as good as I once was. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Are we waiting for something? Is there something broken? Let's take a look at what is taking us a while here. Gotta load up the Discord just to figure this out, maybe. Well, not seeing any updates in Discord right now. I guess they're trying to sort out some UID issue, perhaps. But that's all I have. Oh, they're building scripts by hand, so there must have been an issue. Not good. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's exactly what I was talking about when it came to building scripts. So I guess we have an impromptu hangout session going on right now. If you guys, maybe we could turn this into a little bit of an Ask Me Anything situation while we kind of wait and try to kill some time here. No racing really going. Oh, and just as I say that, Supercross Heat 1 is finally built. Perfect. Am I going to stream the premiere of the new MX Sim the Movie 2 in May? I haven't heard anything about this, so no, I guess, because I haven't heard a single thing about MX Sim the Movie 2. And yes, Saggy Goober, I did race the MX Sim of Nations back in 2012. I was on Team USA with what should have been Jack Roberts, Roy Mitchell, and myself. And that was a very weird situation. The reason Jack Roberts got on the team, if I remember right, well, Jack, how is this going to work? They did qualifiers on Friday night, and the race was Saturday morning. I won the qualifier for MX2, so it got me on the Team USA for MX2. Tyson Fresquez won the MX1 qualifier, but he told Roy he can have the spot because Roy finished second. I think that was because they like took each other out or something like that. And then Tyler Crane won the MX3 qualifier, so he would have been my teammate. But I think we had heard that he wasn't going to make it, so he had told Jack Roberts, who finished second, that that was going to be his spot. Instead, what ended up happening is Roy and I both woke up on time and got there. It was a super early race. It was like 6 a.m. Pacific because they're accommodating for the European and Australian audience as well. Super early race. So Roy and I got there, and then Jack had set an alarm, but it didn't go off. So then Stephen Barrington, who was just in the server to watch, ended up being our MX3 rider. And that chaotic mess of a team got fourth that day. So my only MX Sim of Nations appearance did not result in a podium, sadly, but yeah. Dallas Vane wants to know, are there going to be any more cat and mouse videos? Yes, there will be. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 more saved up that I'm going to be releasing soon. I just got to kind of get down to editing them, but they'll be coming soon. As we get loaded into the server for 250 Heat number 1, not sure which heat race this will be. I didn't quite get a glance. I think this may be West. In real life, these are usually determined by a flip of a coin, but I'm not sure how they actually do it with Race Factory competition. It used to be by a flip of a coin. We actually had it live streamed one year by a flip of a coin. But yeah, so this is West. D. Mills, Richards, Plessinger, McIntosh, DeSalle, Medina, Rose, Blakely, Thorson, just to name a few. All right, time to go racing. Here in Salt Lake City, it's the West Heat Race action underway. Just about ready to get racing in the big SLC. Let's drop that gate. 9 going to the main event right here. As we are off and running, you can see the champ down the inside in the all-black gear, the gold plates. Braden Carter trying to sneak down the inside, and he almost got the whole shot, but instead goes to his teammate Daniel Mills. So it's Mills out front. Carter has to check up on the on-off. And Mills streaks into the lead at the end of the rhythm section. Out of the stadium they go. Daniel Mills, who finished second last week in Las Vegas in the Triple Crown, now trying to win the showdown here tonight in Salt Lake City. Going to start off his night with a early lead in heat race number 1. As Mills comes over the line, Braden Carter, his teammate, over the line in second. Then we got defending champ Craig Richards. He's now relinquished that title with Carter picking up the championship this year, but he's in third. We got Riley Hewen up here. Benjamin Saves, Ivan Medina, Zoe across. Remember, this is essentially a main event for these guys. This is 20 of the best West Coast racers all on the track at one time, but only 9 of them are going through to the showdown tonight. So getting everybody together here, and oh, little contact there as Medina went down, Zoe Cross went down. I think Dalton Plessinger in the background just went down. Chase DeSalle, Bobby DeSalle, whatever you want to call him, right behind Tyler Bartlett. Trevor Spencer's up here. And this is actually the battle for 8th spot right now. Ryder down, that's Hewen. Hewen goes down, and that puts Zoe Cross back in the final transfer spot. So Zoe Cross now on the bubble position. Bobby DeSalle's up here. We got Tyler Bartlett, Trevor Spencer, Jacob Hubbard, who is running gold plates and gold gear, but I see a question in chat asking about gold plates. That has nothing to do with Hubbard in this situation. He always just seems to run this very stock basic setting instead of having like real graphics of any kind. And he is not a champion, which is what Braden Carter is running gold plates for, because he is the champion of this class. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I thought Braden Carter was going to run 1W in the showdown tonight, but I think maybe he's just being nice because Craig Richards is obviously still running the number 1 because he's the defending champion of this series. We got a rider down, a couple riders down. Benjamin Saves was down. I think Bobby DeSalle was just getting up from a crash, and he's going to try to go by both of these guys. Trevor Spencer goes for the big triple out cases. Here's DeSalle down the inside. He's going to make the move. And Hubbard also trying to sneak in there, sending it. But Trevor Spencer shuts the door. And now Spencer going back after DeSalle. Look at this little tight-knit group down here. Flying back into the stadium. Going through the switchbacks before the finish line jump. And over the finish line jump we go. So it's still DeSalle, Spencer, and Hubbard in this little freight train right here. And there's DeSalle busting the 3-2 option. No idea if that's going to be a faster line, but it seems to have worked out here for him. So DeSalle trying to pull away from this little group. Benjamin Saves, Craig Richards. Battle for the lead brewing. Daniel Mills, Braden Carter going at it. And there's that line I was talking about. 3 over table, 3 out, so you can get the power to the ground and kind of low line that single out. You're not in the air for an hour and a half getting that triple all the way out of the stadium. And these 250 boys out front having a nice battle and showing us the hot lines around the racetrack right now. Let's go on board with new champ Braden Carter. Is just as I say that, his teammate Mills kind of loses the rear end there, it seemed like, more so than tucking the front end. And he goes down, so Carter shoots to the lead. Mills is going to have to settle back into second now, but they have nice little lead working here on Craig Richards. Richards, by the way, under a little bit of an attack here from Benjamin Saves. Richards going for the 3-2 line. Look at them all cutting the track right there. That is definitely going to be a problem spot for cuts tonight. And penalties will be applied to those cuts. Oh man, swapping back and forth the lines after the whoops. Looks like Richards is just going to swing wide and let Saves go, or maybe he's just trying to size up the big line here. But Saves actually still gets the triple from the inside, then over table, get that triple out, and then stay low on that single. Bobby DeSalle sneaking up into the background. We got Jacob Hubbard back here. Trevor Spencer. Riley Hewen getting out of shape on the on-offs, and oh my goodness, what a save. He kind of nose-picked the single right there, somehow stayed on 2 wheels. And for the time being, it's cost him a transfer spot as Luke Sullivan has gone through. And Tyler Bartlett, name we haven't seen at all this year on the 633 C4Designs.co team. But Bartlett up here in the 8th spot, holding on to a nice transfer spot. Oh, contact in the background. Zoe Cross gets into Riley Hewen and puts down the Aussie. And a couple other riders going through. Rose, Dalton Plessinger. Zoe Cross moves up to 10th, but still has to track down Luke Sullivan or perhaps Bartlett. Make something happen with these two gentlemen. It's so interesting that these 250 guys are able to bust that triple clean and get that triple out. I thought for sure we'd see more of these guys having to hit that big triple out line. So working lap number 7, but we are also about to hit the 6-minute mark, so white flag will be coming out not this time, but next time by now, as we just passed the 6-minute mark. And Bartlett trying to hold off Luke Sullivan. Ryder down. That is Saves on the 165 getting up. Benjamin Saves just regrouping here. As Sullivan coming in the background, you can see Cross is not too far behind him on the MX Locker ride, and then Dalton Plessinger. So this is actually going to tighten up here for the final transfer spot fairly quickly, as Benjamin Saves trying to regroup from his mistake. Now ends up behind Bartlett. Sullivan's still on his tail, and we've lost Zoe Cross. So Zoe Cross has gone down, and Dalton Plessinger now moves into 10th as the white flag is waving for our leaders out front, but Plessinger trying to eye up Luke Sullivan, who appears to have missed some timing gates there. Cameras didn't lock to him, so that's going to be cuts eventually. And look at this freight train right here. We've got Bartlett, who I'm just learning is the 250 AMS champion, racing for the first time here tonight. He's at the front of this group trying to make the main event. He's ahead of Benjamin Saves. We got Trevor Spencer back there on the 192. Down the inside goes Saves on the 165. Now Bartlett's getting swallowed up a little bit here. Spencer trying to go to the outside, gets taken down by Bartlett, and he's off the bike as well. Plessinger makes the move through on Sullivan, who I think is in the final transfer spot. He is, but down goes Plessinger. Plessinger cased the triple, and here comes Zoe Cross. No, I'm sorry, that's Chase Blakely over the triple to make the pass on Plessinger and go on through. Also, Trevor Spencer coming on by. Oh, and Spencer gives the business to Plessinger. Meanwhile, up front, Braden Carter takes the win in the 250 West heat race. He's headed to the showdown, as is DeSalle, Mills, Richards, and Hubbard should be pretty easily through in the top 5. 6th right now is Saves. 7th for Bartlett. 8th right now for Sullivan, and 9th is Blakely, but he has Dalton Plessinger closing up on him on the 61. Let's see if Plessinger eyes up a move here. Oh, he gets into the back of him, and down he goes. He was trying to cut underneath, and Blakely sliding the rear end all the way through the corner, caught traction, and got into the front tire there of Plessinger. So Blakely will go through to the main event here with the final transfer spot by the skin of his teeth. And Cross going to miss out. Dalton Plessinger, Riley Hewen. So Hewen going down there. He ends up 12th. Jake Rose, 13th. Ivan Medina. He'll end up 14th in this one. Brandon Holmes, Trevor Spencer, Rogan McIntosh, Hunter Braun, and Tyler Shields, and Tanner Thorson. All the runners in this one. Looks like Brandon Holmes got a spot, so that's going to help him on LCQ gate pick. But everybody inside of the top 9, they are safe and through. We did have a change for second, though. Daniel Mills got through into second thanks to 1.51 seconds of cuts out of Bobby DeSalle, and actually our winner had 4.47 seconds of cuts. So like I said, jumping across the little inside there before the start line as they come back on. See if I can find right here where DeSalle is. If you get this triple or double out wrong and you end up kind of beelining straight across the screen there, you'll end up cutting a couple of timing gates there, and that'll get you some penalties that will be applied on to the end of the race. So Carter, trying to continue his streak of good fortune, has now taken the win here in the 250 West Division. Heat race number 1. And he's going to try to pick up another win here tonight and just maybe pull out an over 100-point lead for this championship, which obviously he's already clinched as he does a nice little transfer there. Let's see if he transfers this into something. No, he's going to case the heck out of that thing, but get a nice little break there with a restart in the server. Again, so glad everybody could join us here for round 17 of the MotoOption SX Series live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action here from the finale at Salt Lake City. And coming up next is going to be a big one. We already had that West Heat race, but that championship has already been decided. Carter wrapped that thing up a few rounds ago. This East Division, lot different story. Only 10 points separate 3 riders that are still alive for the championship. And anything could happen here tonight in Salt Lake City. We got Dominic Tiberino 10 points down. We have Isaiah Dickerson 5 points down. And we have Colby Eagland with the red plate trying to pick up his first ever Race Factor Gaming Championship here tonight. Dickerson would be repeating as champion if he was able to get the win here. And Tiberino Might be one of the first people I think I've ever seen to win a championship without winning a race if he can somehow pull this off, although winning a race here would go a huge step towards the championship tonight if he can get it done. But we'll see whether or not that is a possibility for the number 77 Tegrity ride of Dominic Tiberino. And the MV Films teammates Dickerson and Eaglin going to square off amongst each other to determine the champion. Can't imagine this is a situation where Dickerson would be happy for his teammate to essentially dethrone him after Dickerson won the championship last year. But the peculiar thing in this situation is Dickerson and Eaglin have both missed main events this year, and yet they have still brought this thing down to the finale as close as it can get. So it's really mano-a-mano at this point. Take a look at our 250 East contenders out here. And there is your points leader, red plate holder, Colby Eaglin, trying to win this championship here tonight. And right behind him there actually was Dominic Tiberino. There is Isaiah Dickerson, whose skins I don't seem to have. I'm not sure why. Huh. That's really weird. I'm not sure why I don't have Isaiah Dickerson's skins. I know I was having problems with downloads earlier, but I don't think MV Films had an update that I missed out on. Anyway, we are set to go racing here in 250 East Heat racing action from Salt Lake City of the Showdown. Good start. Dickerson and Eaglin both get to the corner pretty well there. Not seen. Oh, Tiberino snuck around the inside, and Eaglin actually went down. Out front, though, it is Isaiah Dickerson with the whole shot. Tanner Rogers right behind him. Tyson Craig on the 144 is also in the mix. And the 191 is in there as well. I just see the 77 come through in about 6th. That is Tiberino back there as Isaiah Dickerson pulling away out front. And this is 250 Heat number 2, but it is the 250 East Heat race. So anybody not going through out of this one, head to that last chance qualifier where they will meet their West counterparts to try to decide which 4 of them will head to the main event. But it is Dickerson from Rogers, Craig, Heilman. There is Tiberino ahead of Copeland, Matteo Chiani, Tyron Tomic, Tim Friedrichs, and then Colby Eaglin, who is in 10th right now. And this could be the biggest factor that we'll have to keep an eye on here tonight, is whether or not our championship contenders can actually qualify for the main event, which Eaglin looks like he's doing a steady job of getting himself into a spot that will get him into the main event right now. But it's about surviving in these positions, especially when you're kind of near these bubble spots early in the race. You do not want to go down again because it puts you at a huge disadvantage, falling behind 8 or 9 more riders, ending up back in about 17th or 18th. It really hampers your plans on moving forward, but at least for Eaglin's sake, he's not too far behind championship rival Dominic Tiberino, who is also back here a little bit in this mess. And just a slew of riders mixed together within these first couple laps. Matteo Chiani of the Boozy team right there behind Dylan Copeland. Tyson Craig, Heilman just up the road. Tiberino actually looking to make a move down the inside of Chiani, and he gets it done. Friedrichs ends up front flipping ahead of Eaglin, so Eaglin dodges a bit of a bullet there. Big shout out Will Whiteley. Oh, Will Whiteley let me know that Dickerson is not wearing his skins because he's scared about a PC crash. Wow. But thanks, Will, for dropping a $2 donation. Really, really appreciate that. But that's a good kind of talking point as well that we don't often see, but sometimes it has affected things, is computer issues in this game. And you get some lag, maybe you get a lag punt or a lag slam into a wall or something like that. You crash your game, or you just straight up crash your game from memory loss, running out of virtual memory essentially. Never a good thing, especially when the championship is on the line. And Race Factor Gaming, honestly, within the last couple of years, instituted a new policy where it's essentially a mechanical DNF if you don't make the start. If you're out of the server or whatever, they don't red flag it. They used to, but don't anymore. And it's a good idea, I think, on Dickerson's part to kind of just play it safe here and make sure that he's going to be A-okay here tonight. A little bit unfortunate that on the stream it doesn't look that cool, but I understand it. I get it. And if I were in his position, I probably would consider doing the same thing, so makes sense. Rogers right behind him in second, though. Heilman's moved up to third. Tyson Craig. And then Colby Eaglin right behind him, so Tiberino's been dropped a couple positions back to, looks like 8th now, it looks like. No, 7th, I'm sorry, for the number 77 machine. Oh, and then Copeland went down, so going to move him back up to 6th. And fortunately, at least tonight, it doesn't seem like gate pick is huge because it's such a long start straight, so it more matters your jump, as long as you can out-jump people around you. So Tiberino actually might do himself a little bit of a favor by starting around people that aren't not as good of starters on the outside of the box, getting a jump on them and just trying to be into the corner inside of the top 5. Last thing he wants to do is go down in the first turn, of course, in this main event later tonight, but so far so good for our championship contenders on making it through, and Eaglin now sizing up a passing opportunity on the 144 of Tyson Craig. On the outside, he's trying to get a run. He's going to scrub the finish line jump very nicely there and sneak down the inside to try to make the move. Shows him a wheel. Craig responds, though, and triples out on the inside to hold the position. Oh, and then he slides out trying to grasp it across the start straight, so Eaglin swings around the outside of him and moves up to 4th. Craig going to get going ahead of Copeland. And actually, we've lost Tiberino. Tiberino has gone backwards, and now he is outside a transfer spot. He is in 11th behind William St. Laurent and Billy Kunitz. And, oh, he's got to be careful here because the 471 of Friedrichs might get in the mix as well. So this is exactly what we were worried about with these championship contenders not making it through out of their heat race. And right now, Tiberino outside looking in, trying to go around St. Laurent. He gets that done. He's up to 10th. So Tiberino now has to go after Billy Kunitz, and Kunitz closing up onto Owen Hillman, it looks like right here, and Hillman just lets him go. The Panini Motorsports number 170 wants no part of getting taken to the ground by Billy Kunitz, who was reportedly earlier taking people out in qualifying servers, so that's never a good sign. But Tiberino has moved up to 10th, as we mentioned, and he has got to get at least one more spot to make it into the main event. Although he would really love to get a couple and make himself a nice little cushion. Hillman still applying the pressure to Kunitz. Tiberino probably can see them just up the road as he goes off this triple, kind of looks up ahead probably just a little bit. What is going to happen here? Time has expired, so white flag should be coming out, and there it is. Actually, it just went out as race leader Isaiah Dickerson checked in out front, and Hillman's off the side of the track, and he's missed some timing gates there for sure. Didn't lose a lot of time. In fact, he's actually on the back wheel of Tyron Tomic now, and Tomic made a couple mistakes there, but Tiberino can still see these guys, and with the couple mistakes Hillman has been making and going off the track, he may just need to get this thing close and not actually need to make the pass. Lap left to go. Tiberino trying to make it into the main event to at least keep his championship hopes alive. 10 down in the championship from Colby Eaglin. So he also needs some help tonight, but he's not helping his case whatsoever right now behind Owen Hillman, but he is closing up on him, trying to get into that 9th and final transfer spot. Oh, and a rider's down. It's Kunitz. Billy Kunitz went down. Tiberino moves into 9th, and that is going to be the break he needed. Meanwhile, out front, Isaiah Dickerson has crashed in the final turn. He will pick it up and get going just as his teammate crosses the line in front of him. Look at that, only 0.3 of a second separated the top 3. Eaglin with the unofficial win, Dickerson 2nd, and Heilman ends up 3rd. Rogers and Craig end up 4th and 5th. Copeland 6th, 7th Tomic, 8th Hillman. Oh, and Tiberino's gone down, and he's off the bike. He got collected with Friedrichs, and the lag took him to the ground. Kunitz goes back through, and Friedrichs gets up side by side with Tiberino, and Kunitz goes to the main event. Tiberino misses out by 1.8 seconds. And Friedrichs with the lag takeout there ends up costing a spot in the main event to Tiberino. Oh my goodness. Friedrichs, Donovan, Gerst, Hockey, St. Laurent, Ohashi, Santini, Kiani, Kerr, Tomasunis. Outside looking in. We'll have to wait for cuts. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Only 1.8 seconds. And Tiberino goes through. Kunitz had too many cuts. Billy Kunitz with 2.45 seconds of cuts has cost himself a transfer spot as he comes across the line now 10th officially. Tiberino, by the skin of his teeth, is in the main event tonight. Holy smokes. Wow, wow, wow. And Billy Kunitz, 0.5 of a second, so half a second from making the main event after cuts. And Tiberino's going to be breathing a huge sigh of relief right there, knowing his championship hopes are definitely still alive. Unbelievable. Well, that is one way to start off the night. 250 East heat race now complete. 450 heat race is coming up next. Remember, a 15-point difference in the championship. Only 2 men left alive. With Seabolt 15 points clear of championship rival Colton Mitchell. Either way you swing it, one of those 2 men is about to become a first-time champion in 450 competition, and race factory competition, I should say. Seabolt, a 2-time 250 champion. Colton Mitchell, he's won a 250 SX and outdoor championship, which is why he has that single-digit number 6. And Jeremy Seabolt on the verge of claiming a championship here tonight, but Colton Mitchell would love to say something about it. And Mitchell has been here before. He took Leclerc to the finale back in 2018, and trying to do the same thing with Seabolt this year. But Seabolt in his own right was also alive and well for the championship finale last year, but that was eventually won, of course, by Jack Haley. So, 2 people that we're going to want to keep an eye on, of course. Like I said, Jeremy Seabolt and Colton Mitchell, but a couple of other people that may be interesting notes here. Walter Gebhardt has been on a tear in recent weeks, although he had a rough week last week at Las Vegas, but he had won 3 consecutive rounds before that, and we'll have to see whether or not he can keep that streak going tonight. He's not alive for the championship anymore, but he does have an outside shot at 3rd in the championship if he can somehow get past Jack Haley. Jack Haley trying to avoid the moniker of being the 2nd rider ever to not back up a championship with a win in the following season. Man who did that last was the man who was the champion the year before him. Alexis Leclerc could not pick up a win in 2019 in his title defense year. Jack Haley has not won a race yet this season, and he would love to put that rumor to bed and pick up his first win of the season here in Salt Lake City, at least just for nothing less than bragging rights. But we'll have to see how it plays out. In this one, we can already see Jeremy Seabolt lined up just to the inside of the box. Alexis Leclerc in the middle. And the rest of the runners all throughout the gate. Let's go racing 450 heat number 1 from Salt Lake City. Leclerc, great jump into the first turn. Down the inside is going to pick up that hole shot. Seabolt right behind him in second is in a good spot, exactly where he wants to be. He wants to just go straight through to this main event, no questions asked. Like Tiberino, the last thing Seabolt wants is to have to go to the last chance qualifier and maybe, just maybe, not make this main event. But a good start here has him in second early on and right behind Alexis Leclerc. Now, what we don't know is whether or not there are going to be any sort of kind of favoritism played here tonight. Obviously, in real life, I feel like it happens less as Seabolt goes down. Seabolt is down after the finish line jump. He cased, and he bounced to flat, and he's off the bike. Several riders going through. Andrew Wood ends up alongside of him, but Seabolt's back to 13th. He's actually going to move, I think, no, he's 13th still. Seabolt in 13th, and now moves up to 12th as we had another rider going down. 11th, I should say. He's going to move back into transfer in no time. Everybody's yard sealing, and there it goes. He's already back in transfer spot. So Seabolt breathing a sigh of relief that nobody could stay on 2 wheels for any couple seconds longer than he did. But Seabolt now already has moved back up to 7th. But he's still in traffic here. So he's got to be very careful. It's right behind Andrew Massart and Jeremy Smith on the 4. Smith was battling for this championship earlier in the season. And him and Massart going toe-to-toe here. Seabolt doesn't know what to do. He's just trying to not get into the back of him and go down. Meanwhile, Andrew Wood is up in a transfer spot right behind Seabolt right now. Look at A-Wood go, my normal co-host here in the broadcast booth. Getting some big boy lines as he's moved up to 8th. Seabolt still applying the pressure here to Massart, but can't quite get it done just yet. Massart goes to defend as he's trying to get back around. Jeremy Smith gets into the back of him. That's going to allow Seabolt down the inside. Massart wheelies the whoops to try to get back alongside of him. And then, A-Wood gets into the back of him, goes down. Sabrina Ritzer goes down. That's Dennis Fjellberg down. Through the middle there, I think that was, it was James Armstrong kind of splitting the difference there. So a mistake from Massart causes a pile up in the end of it as he came across and got into Andrew Wood. Wood went down and got collected with several other riders, but it did allow Seabolt to get a big gap established to transfer positions now as he's moved up to 5th. So 5th for Seabolt, 4th for Jeremy Smith. Spencer Turley, he is up in 3rd. Ian Holman 2nd. And Alexis Leclerc pulling out a enormous lead out front. He just busted the quad into that corner. Alexis Leclerc, triple quad on the near side of the stadium. As he U-turns back down the start straight, that is a big line right there. And Leclerc known for being able to accomplish some big lines. Not one we expected to see. But he pulls the hat, or the rabbit out of the hat, I should say. Curious to watch next time by if he does it again, or maybe what these lap times look like. 57.7, 57.3. Let's see if this time is better. Cuts to the inside and a 58 flat. So no, he actually is going faster, but you can see his 57, only one of the 57 so far, and he's ran 2 of them. So let's see this line again out front. So he's going to triple out here, come across the starting line, and what he's been doing, I'm not sure if he's going to do it with a lapper in his way here, but he triples this and then just downsides it and busts this quad into this corner. That is huge. That line right there, that requires a huge load on seat bouncing across. And whoa, somebody come flying down the start straight. Maybe just got started. It also is really hard because you have to get stopped so fast, so you can't go too deep in the corner because you may crash, you may go over the berm. That is very precise what he's doing right there, and absolutely wild. Let's see what his lap time is here as he moves around the lap traffic there. Here we go, Leclerc to the finish line, this time by 56.8, resets fastest lap out front, and Leclerc motoring away with this thing. Spencer Turley, he's moved up to the 2 spot now as Seabolt's found himself into 3rd, so he's safe in there. Jeremy Smith is in 4th, Joseph Pilsner in 5th, Devin Davis in 6th, 7th for Hunter Root, 8th for Ian Holm, and 9th for Sean Smith. So Sean Smith in the final transfer spot. And just trying to maybe make a move on Ian Holm. Got a little battle here between Pilsner and Devin Davis. Ooh, and down goes Pilsner. Davis actually cut the top blocks there. So Hunter Root might make the pass here on Pilsner. Oh, Pilsner gets up just as Root got there. Some contact and riders getting scattered about now. It's Pilsner ahead of Holm, then Root, Sean Smith, and the 52 of Robert Wilson right there in the 10 spots. So battle for the final transfer spot brewing. Oh, man, it is close. Look at how close all these 5 guys. Oh, and Wilson in the back of Smith. So that takes away his chance. So everybody funneling through here. And right now, these guys are all in transfer spots, so they don't need to push the envelope, but they're clearly trying to make some passes on each other. Ian Holm goes 12 o'clock on us. Sean Smith trying to sneak around the outside to get by him, but Holm holds the position. Back here in 9th, it's Bryce Whelan now with his teammate Wilson right behind him, and I believe that might be Devin Davis off the back of them in the 30. No, I'm sorry, it's James Armstrong. James Armstrong, former winner in this series. That triple over table, triple outline. Wheeling a little short and a rider down. Sean Smith has gone down. That should give Wilson the final transfer spot as white flag waving out front. And let's see if Armstrong going to size something up. No, I'm sorry. This is actually 8th and 9th now, so they both have moved into transfer spots. So no need to rush it with each other, but Armstrong trying to make the move. Oh, and he gets into Wilson, who slides out. That's the disadvantage of racing so close, and it's going to cost him a transfer spot, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, up front, Alexis Leclerc has absolutely dominated this heat race. He's going to come through the final quarter, and he won. Belongs to Alexis Leclerc. Jeremy Seabolt going to stamp his ticket to the main event here with 2nd. But Seabolt now finds himself in a great position because he has now guaranteed himself to at least score points tonight, which puts a little bit more pressure on Colton Mitchell. But with a 15-point gap in the championship, really a miracle needs to happen in this sense for Mitchell to win it, as Smith comes across 3rd, Turley 4th. Rude looks like he's got 5th sewn up. Pilsner trying to hold on from Bryce Whelan. Let's see if Whelan has something to say about it here in these last couple corners. Let's see if he maybe gets a good drive across the start straight. No, he is just going to settle in behind and take that spot there in 7th. 8th goes to Robert Wilson, and 9th is going to be Ian Holm on the 93. 10th for Sean Smith, and 11th for Armstrong. 12th for Ritzler, Fjellberg, and the rest missing out. Let's see if cuts changed anything. It did not. So behind them, it was Ryan Turner, Devin Davis, Andrew Massart, Dakota French, Benny Landry, Andrew Wood, and Eduardo Simos did not finish this race. Don't worry, Kyle. I can see the chat, and I know that sometimes you guys just like love me to not pay attention to the race and instead just talk to chat or talk about chat, but I always see what chat is saying. So if there is relevant information I feel like adding to the broadcast, I'm seeing it. It's not like I'm ignoring it. But I appreciate that you're going to be providing updates, man. All right, 450 heat number 2 coming up next. And this is where we will keep an eye out to see whether or not Colton Mitchell makes it through. How's everybody doing tonight? Looking in chat. I don't know if Tyson Fresquez will ever race again. Not sure what he's doing these days either. Hope all is well with him though. All right, the heat number 2 coming up next. .450 heat number 2. Where is our man Colton Mitchell? Gonna need to keep an eye on him. There he is. Ken Mitchell, who won last week and the week prior, who has been on fire here of late. Can he get it done again? And in doing so, he would also put the pressure on Seabolt. Alrighty, 450 heat number 2 on the gate. Let's see how they go. Nine go through. Everybody else heads to the LCQ. We are off and running 450 heat 2 in Salt Lake City. 229 on the outside. I think that's for Zaka. Got a great jump, but 13 down the inside is Cohenauer. He's going to try to get into the corner first. It will be Leitzel instead sneaking down the inside. Logan Leitzel picks up the whole shot, and then side-by-side teammates behind him, Mitchell and Gebhardt. Mitchell wearing the bright red helmet tonight, maybe trying to suggest he will be bearing red plates and a red championship number plate after this. But he's just got to get through to the main event right now. That's all he cares about. And right now he is in a solid and safe position. Meanwhile, out front, Leitzel has Gebhardt closing up on him fast, and Gebhardt goes off the track. Got to re-enter carefully here. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. How did he pull that off without going down? Oh, mistake. Mitchell ends up kind of facing the wrong way. He's going to lose a spot there to, was that Ollert going by? And then Holm down the inside. And, whoa, a couple other people crossing over. It's actually Tyler Schmidt that went by on the 175. Roy Mitchell there on the 25 right behind him. And then Cohenauer, I think, on the 13th. No, that's Lang, I should say, on the 14. So Mitchell has to regroup a little bit here. He's lost a couple positions. Shouldn't bother him too much, though. He's plenty fast to make it through. Just has got to hold steady in these positions as Gebhardt moves back around Tyler Schmidt. And Logan Leitzel continuing to lead. Ooh, a little short there for Leitzel on the triple out. Cost him some time, but Gebhardt, after that first lap mistake, only able to lay down a 1 flat .6, and so far nobody else doing that quad except Alexis Leclerc. That is, as mentioned, a very big line, and if anything, it gives us an interesting scenario to talk about with Leclerc potentially being spoiler tonight in this title fight between Mitchell and Seabolt, as Tyler Schmidt and Gebhardt going side by side. Both get the triple in, over table, triple out. Let's see who gets the drive out of the stadium. It is Gebhardt as he possesses the inside line. So Gebhardt now holding that second place position once again, trying to go after Leitzel out front. And Mitchell has slowly crawled back up to the rear tire here of Tyler Schmidt to try to get by him for third. Wouldn't that be something if he ends up second in this heat race and then he and Seabolt start side by side in the main event, which is something, I don't know how dirty Mitchell wants to play it here tonight, but getting a little bit better jump than Seabolt, just kind of turning across him isn't the worst idea if you're trying to win a championship. First, he's got to get around Tyler Schmidt to try to get into third. Lead change out front. Gebhardt now ahead of Leitzel. Oh, Schmidt tucks the front wheel. Can Mitchell size up an inside move? Yeah, look at that. Tyler Schmidt swings wide. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but Schmidt trying not to be a factor here, perhaps. Over the finish line jump they come. Tyler Lang, Adam Holm, Kevin Frizaka all on a bit of a freight train here. Then Jeremy Cohenauer off the back of them. We go a little further back and find our final transfer spot right now. It is Roy Mitchell. So Roy Mitchell in our final transfer spot. Fred Heather behind him. Casey Ollert, Jeff Cooper. Austin Bear, Jack Haley, Caden Speck, all these guys outside looking in right now. They got to get up to Roy Mitchell. Boy, this has just not been the year Jack Haley will like to remember whatsoever. Up the road a little bit further is for Zaka. Oh, but he just went down. So Cohenauer is going to go around him. And let's see if Zaka gets up. No, Mitchell just went by. So Mitchell has gone through. And Zaka now settles into what is the final transfer spot. Meanwhile, up front, Leitzel is taking the lead again. Colt Mitchell's moved into second. What happened to Walter Gebhardt? Walter Gebhardt has lost several positions. He's back to sixth. What happened with Walter Gebhardt? Either way, it's given Leitzel the lead again, and maybe given an opportunity here for Colt Mitchell to land himself an optimal gate pick. I think with as fast as Leclerc was going in his heat race, the first gate pick is out of the question because total time in that heat race was a blazer. But Mitchell could maybe pick up second gate pick here and be in a really good position headed into the main event. I'm telling you, Colt Mitchell, he has caught fire late here. It really did seem like with 3 rounds to go, it was going to be Jack Haley and Jeremy Seabolt deciding this championship. And Haley, unfortunately, has kind of fallen apart here with these last couple weeks. And Mitchell has won 2 weeks on the trot, trying to make it a third here tonight. White flag waving out front. Leitzel still trying to hold on for this win. Tyler Lang, Adam Holm, Tyler Schmidt, Cohenauer, Mitchell for Zaka. Now Gebhardt looks like he's on the final transfer spot, and he is. Fred Heather's trying to run him down, so Gebhardt starting to fall apart in this heat race. Ooh, Gebhardt down together with Roy Mitchell. Fred Heather goes through. Meanwhile, up front, battle to the checkered flag here as Leitzel is going to hang on and take the win over Mitchell, but only 0.7 of a second, so that could be coming down to cuts. Tyler Lang going to hold off Adam Holm for third. Cohenauer looks like he's got fifth. For Zaka, 6th. 7th, Schmidt. 8th for Heather. And Gebhardt is up to 9th, but Ollard and Roy Mitchell would like to say something about it. Oh, Ollard off the track. And Gebhardt will go through in 9th. Ollard ends up 10th. 11th here for Roy Mitchell. 12th for Bradley Clay. 13th coming to the line here, Caden Speck. Wow, cuts the complete last corner. Austin Bear. Just over the line ahead of Jack Haley, Jeff Cooper, Charles Gable, Ash Deering, Ethan Parks, Jay Turner, and myself in warm-up. Let's see if cuts affect anything inside of our transfer spots. It looks like Schmidt got a spot on for Zaka. And Mitchell did pick up the win on cuts. Leitzel had 3.56 seconds of cuts. So Colt Mitchell confirmed second gate pick headed to the main event here tonight. Yeah, of course, Kyle, you are the official trackside analyst. Kyle Miller, everybody, official trackside analyst. Start your systems. Nicely done. Oh boy. Well, Seabolt's in, Mitchell's in, 15 points between them. And we'll find out what happens in the main events later tonight, but heat racing action is now done in Salt Lake City. And coming up next, Last chance qualifier time. Final main events of the season. And these guys will want to get in at all costs. How's everybody doing in chat tonight? Heat racing action now done. Hope everybody's having a good time. Glad to be bringing you guys action once again from the finale here. RF Nationals, I believe, are going ahead as normal. I haven't heard anything of the contrary. I think we'll be at Hangtown a couple weeks from now and just keep on trucking. Oh, out of virtual memory, of course. It's cool that Tyson Fresquez, Kyle Miller in chat letting us know Tyson Fresquez may come back for a couple outdoor nationals on a retirement tour. It should be good to see. Tyson was, like, honestly, you know, some of the champions in this game, I think they're all very fast at the game, but you won't find someone as nice as Tyson was. There was like 2 times I remember Tyson being like mad, and even Tyson's mad was like, bro, why would you do that, man? Like, come on, what the hell? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm just kidding, man. We're all good, no big deal. Like, Tyson's such a good dude, so bummed we don't see him on the race weeks anymore, but hopefully wherever he is, he's having a good time with life, and definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest MX Sim player of all time. Deserves every bit of a hiatus from the game. Thanks, Greed. Greed J wants to join the team and he loves the videos. Well, I can't promise any spots are open on the team right now. And I appreciate that you love the videos. The support is always great. Year after year, you guys coming through with the unrelenting support of the channel, and I appreciate it. The people that I've been able to meet and the things I've been able to do, it's incredible, and it's all thanks to you guys. So every year, I just want to say such a big thank you to you guys. Like, it doesn't get said enough. I wish that in all my videos, I just was a 20-minute video of thanking you guys, because this awesome life that I have is a lot thanks to you guys. But seriously, man, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you guys 17 rounds of Supercross once again this year, and I really hope you guys have enjoyed the experience along the way, and hope you'll keep bringing it back every year. You miss how the streams were before YouTube became family friendly. Yeah. I mean, that's part of why I don't do those types of streams anymore. I would say the bigger reason is I eventually would like to end up in the booth of either motocross or supercross or something else. I would announce horse racing if I need to or whatever, but professionally speaking, I try to keep it a little bit more in check these days. But we still do live stream over on twitch.tv/startyoursystems.tv. I just do like personal streams there now. Like if I'm just playing games with buddies, like we played Golf It and Wreckfest and Monopoly. I think we did a night of Monopoly over there. And those are just like hang out and have a good time type of things. Not as serious business here on the YouTubes. But yeah. And thanks, Andrew, for that. Glad that you liked the video. All right. Get back in for this LCQ. Thank you, Alex Efforts, for the $2 donation. I decided no on shots for dualies, and unfortunately that's like circumstantial because I was thinking about doing it, but I need to go film with Steve Mathis and Chris Kiefer tomorrow, so I don't want to be hungover for that because It's never fun to go to a dusty, grimy track with loud dirt bikes when you're hungover. And every single time I do shots for dualies on the stream, it is hungover city. So, yeah, sorry. Just circumstantial. Yeah, part 2 for the Vegas documentary will be either coming out like late this week, Friday, Saturday, or next week. I haven't quite been able to get it done just yet. Hopefully soon, though. Glad people are enjoying that. All right, time for the East-West Showdown Last Chance Qualifier from Salt Lake City. 4 go through. Let's find out who they are right now. Long drive down the start straight, and a little bit of cross-up action down the inside. That was, I think, Trevor Spencer who got to the corner and went down, but it's Jake Rose with the hole shot. That's Gerst behind him on the 260 in second. We got Kyler Hockey up in the 3 spot early, and a lot of guys going down. We have Holmes and McIntosh, although Holmes goes down, so McIntosh goes into the final transfer spot. Only momentarily, though, as Billy Kunitz on the 63 tucks inside. So Hockey side by side with Kunitz. Kunitz a little short and a little off kilter. Hockey trying to get away, and Kunitz made a mistake. Up front, we have a change. Oh, what the heck just happened there? My apologies. Game just windowed out. We have a change for the lead. Jake Rose. Jake Rose leading. Kyler Hockey second. Gerst third. And Kunitz still in fourth. We got St. Laurent right here. Thomas Sunis, Friedrichs. Who's going to make it in this showdown? Oh, rider going down. That was Hunter Braun going down. And then Thomas Sunis gets kind of punted there, I think, by St. Laurent. But it's still Rose, Hockey, Gerst, and Kunitz, the top 4. This is going to be gnarly. Showdown LCQs are gnarly, but the finale Showdown LCQ should be insane. These guys are going to be absolutely sending it. Try to make it into this last main event of the season. So Hockey, Gerst, Kunitz. Oh, Kunitz down! Kunitz is in a transfer spot, and he goes down. Zoe Cross jumps to the inside and makes the pass on St. Laurent to go into the 4th and final transfer spot. Zoe Cross has gone through. Let's see if St. Laurent responds here. Oh, got a little sideways on corner entry, and Cross not getting lit up there, but Gerst has gone down. Oh, and Medina gets into Gerst, and then around the outside goes Tim Friedrichs, but St. Laurent has moved into the 4th and final transfer spot for the time being. So St. Laurent trying to get away from all the chaos behind him. Jake Rose unfazed by what's going on behind him out front. Hockey, and then Zoe Cross in 3rd. And then behind him is St. Laurent. You can see behind him is Friedrichs, then Billy Kunitz, and then Thomas Sunis, Ivan Medina. These guys are all still close enough that a mistake from St. Laurent could get them into the final main event of the season. Halfway through this one, these guys trying to settle into a pace, little hop over the bales for St. Laurent, but behind him was even a gnarlier cut for Friedrichs. Can St. Laurent hold on to this spot, or will Friedrichs or Kunitz or somebody else have something to say about it? 5 minutes and a lap in this one, and I'll tell you what, Friedrichs and Kunitz both look like they're catching St. Laurent right now for this final transfer spot. Friedrichs can see that yellow rear fender of William St. Laurent. Actually, it's a white rear fender, but yellow machine of St. Laurent just ahead of him. And he is catching him in a hurry. I'll tell you what, Tim Friedrichs, JIBR Skull Candy ride. Oh, and St. Laurent has gone down, and Kunitz gets into him as St. Laurent was trying to get going, and they're stuck together. St. Laurent can't get out of Billy Kunitz. Now Kunitz finally gets going, and St. Laurent breaks free, but all these guys have lost significant time, and Ivan Medina, who crashed behind them, has disconnected. We got 3 guys down in the corner at the same time as a 312. Matteo Chiani got in there. All these guys are outside looking in, but they are battling to the death as Kunitz jumps off track and then gets back on us alongside of St. Laurent. And then jumping alongside of them now is Donovan on the 51. Inside move for St. Laurent. You would think they're battling for a transfer spot as it's dualies, almost tri-leaves back here. But goodness graciousness, none of these guys are in transfer spot, and they're breaking their back for it right now. So it's Rose, Hockey, Cross, and Friedrichs in transfer spots right now as time has now expired. So white flag coming out next time by, and these guys are absolutely sending it right now for 5th. So at the slight chance now that one of these guys goes down as St. Laurent crashes. I was going to say, though, if Friedrichs crashes out of 4th, all those guys stacked up behind him going to be hot on his heels before long. Oh, Friedrichs a mistake, and he's sideways. Did he go down? Well, he stayed on 2 wheels. But in and out of the grandstands goes Friedrichs, and here comes Kunitz, and it's going to be only Kunitz. Is down in the background, I think it was Gerst. So Gerst goes down. White flag this time by Kunitz, sliding through the corner there. And Friedrichs with 1 lap to go, maybe headed to the main event tonight. Ooh, but he's nose heavy there. Friedrichs just got to hang on 1 lap more. He does not have a lot of pressure. He has a 9-second gap to Billy Kunitz, so he's just got to try to ride this thing home and not go down. But whether or not he just plays it safe or just tries to ride smooth and consistent are 2 different things. He could just elect to double through this first rhythm lane, but he doesn't want to throw his game off at all. So let's see. And he is going to double again. Table over single. Double again, and down was, that may have been Gerst before the finish line jump, but Friedrichs taking it easy. Out front, Jake Rose takes the LCQ victory. Zoa Cross looks like he's going to get 2nd, Hockey 3rd, and Friedrichs with a couple turns to go will be headed to the main event tonight with a 4th in the LCQ. Billy Kunitz just short here tonight. 5 seconds down at the flag. Donovan, St. Laurent, Thomas Sunis, Alex Kerr, Matteo Chiani, James Ohashi, Brandon Holmes, Trevor Spencer, Tanner Thorson, Dalton Plessinger, Ethan Gerst, Tyler Shields, Ivan Medina, Simone Santini, Riley Hewen, Hunter Braun, Rogan McIntosh, and myself in warm-up not headed to the main event unofficially, though, as we'll wait for cuts to come in. Kerr over the line, Chiani over the line, Holmes brings us home here, and Ohashi behind him. And so we're still waiting on Plessinger to finish this thing out, but unofficially, again, it is going to be Jake Rose with Zoa Cross, Kyler Hockey, and Tim Friedrichs going through out of this one. All right, cuts are in. Nothing changed. Top 4 stayed the same. And they're headed to the final showdown of the season here tonight in Salt Lake City. Alrighty, final LCQ of the season coming up. If you aren't already pumped, it's time to get pumped. $281 people hanging out. That's honestly incredible. I just like seriously, the support all season long has been insane. When we streamed on Racer X, we got very close to 1,000 live viewers concurrently at one point, which was mental. But even here on SYS Anaheim 1, we had 750 live viewers, which is it shattered the record of concurrent live viewers we've ever had here, which at the time was 375. So we did double it, I guess. So huge shout out for that. But I mean, to keep a steady close to 300 live viewers at every single round that we've had all season long, incredible. Just can't thank you guys enough. Really, really appreciate the support. And yeah, we'll keep the train rolling till outdoors, I suppose. All right, for the last time this year, 4 people will be headed to the main event, and everybody else will be headed to the cheap seats. One more time. Who will it be tonight? Could Dennis Fjellberg click his way into the main event? Bradley Clay is out here. Caden Speck. A lot of big names as we scroll through these riders on the starting gate, but only 4 men are headed to this main event. Could it be Jack Haley that we see not making it through? He obviously wants to go through as the defending champ. One more hurrah here in Salt Lake City. Final last chance qualifier of 2020, and it starts right now in Salt Lake City. Oh, Haley got a great jump, and he's going to control the inside into the corner, but he gets clipped by Speck, and he's down with a lot of riders, and it's Jeff Cooper who rips the whole shot. Cooper from Massart. Caden Speck ends up coming through in 3rd, and in 4th right there, Deering on the 20. Sean Smith is on the 80. He's right there. I think I see Jeff Cooper as well. Oh, no, Jeff Cooper, I'm sorry, out front. So the 117 back there is Dakota French, I'm sorry. But Cooper leads on the 89. And this is a absolute freight train. Cooper tucks in after the finish line jump, still leading. Massart right there with him. Speck and Deering in transfer spots. Triple, single versus double. Oh, how did he land that? And then he goes down in the whoops. Massart, he barrel rolled into the corner and was still in 2nd. Then he crashes in the whoops. Speck goes through into 2nd. Deering into 3rd, and 4th now is Sean Smith. I have no idea how Massart landed that. And then the fact that he got squirrely in the whoops and went down just makes it all the worse. Unbelievable. But the top 4 now have a big gap, and here's Bradley Clay, Dakota French right there. Oh, Bradley Clay tucks the front wheel and goes down. Dakota French, Pilsner, I believe, went by. I'm sorry, that's Benny Landry, Pilsner's teammate. And then Fjellberg just got past Roy Mitchell, who crashed. James Armstrong back here as well. All these guys outside looking in, but could be taking advantage of some frantic action out front as the top 4 are very close together. Speck, Cooper, Deering, and Smith. Deering and Cooper very close together as they enter the whoops, and Deering down the inside trying to make a pass, gets around Cooper. Cooper back underneath of him, not going to test it into turn number 1, and Deering holds the spot. So Deering now moves into 2nd. Jeff Cooper has slipped back to 3rd, and Sean Smith is in 4th. As mentioned, big gap back to 5th right now, but there is some action going on back here. These guys just waiting for their opportunity if we have a fall go down in the front 4. Dakota French, Dennis Fjellberg. Whoa, was that either Roy Mitchell or Jack Haley ending up on the other side of the racetrack there. And James Armstrong just off the back of these guys. It is still tight-knit action. This 4 group out front, it is anybody's race. They are almost nose to tail. Little gap between second and third, but Sean Smith, you can see, is still right there on Jeff Cooper. And it just takes one small mistake, a little either catching a corner or swapping a rhythm lane or something like that, and these guys run into each other. They either, one of them goes down, both goes down, whatever you want to call it. Look at Smith, he's got to drive on Cooper. Trying to tuck to the inside, just not able to get it done, and Cooper responds well to the pressure. And he swings wide there, Sean Smith does. Just all kinds of pressure on Jeff Cooper, but he doesn't need it. Just needs to finish 4th. Dakota French, James Armstrong. It looks like these guys all just got together because Fjellberg was in 6th. He's now back in 7th. And they're just hoping something happens here in this Cooper and Smith battle for 3rd. As again, Armstrong now moves past Dakota French in the background. He is up into 5th now. Sean Smith peeking inside. Cooper coming to a complete stop almost, avoiding him. Oh, Cooper short and down. Jeff Cooper has gone down. James Armstrong goes into the final transfer spot. Dakota French is still right behind him, and we all know Dennis Fjellberg has the speed to make things interesting. Along those lines, Jeff Cooper still got up right behind these guys, so he would love to say something about this before all is said and done, but it's Armstrong in that final transfer spot now. Let's see if Fjellberg lines up a pass here on Dakota French over the finish line jump. He scrubs it down hard, tries to get that power down, and elects not to go for the pass in this bowl corner. Does he do anything different to get the move done on French to open up the possibility to go after Armstrong? Time has just now expired. Fjellberg, triple single, inside move. Almost got there on French, but just didn't get it done. Let's see. No, he does not elect to go inside. It's still outside here, and then gets the power down onto the start straight. Inside move there. Fjellberg past Dakota French. He's up into 5th. French fighting back. Pulls alongside. Over table triple. Who gets the power down out of the stadium? French trying to fight back. Goes beeline to the inside, but Fjellberg shuts the door. And he's in 5th now. So can he close it down with 1 lap to go? This time by on James Armstrong. Still Deering, and Speck's gone down. Caden Speck crashes out of 2nd. Sean Smith goes through. Here comes Armstrong. Armstrong just cut the track. Armstrong just cut the track, and you can see Fjellberg is still back there. Speck just got going. Double into the corner, but Armstrong is now in 3rd and in a little bit of a safer spot. Dakota French just went down. It is on Fjellberg's shoulders to do something here. Or will it just come down to cuts? Got this rhythm section, and then it's basically a double and some flat straightaways left. Oh, mistake. Armstrong lost a little bit of time. Speck pulls alongside. They don't need to fight with each other. They just have to beat Fjellberg, but they are battling. Nearly bar to bar over the double in the back. Fjellberg's just trying to get this thing close maybe for cuts as up front Deering takes the win from Smith. It is going to be Armstrong, Speck, and Fjellberg misses it by 1.2 seconds. That absolutely could come down to cuts though. Especially when we saw that cut from Armstrong big down the inside. Dakota French over the line in 6th. Looks like Jeff Cooper has got 7th locked up, but these are all spots that are not headed to the main event. Ethan Parks getting lawn darted by Benny Landry, but stays on 2 wheels. Landry comes across 9th. Ritzler gonna go down, so it gives Turner 10th. And Ritzler will come across the line in 11th. Austin Bear should have 12th. Jay Turner's off the track in 13th. Ollard already across the line in 14th, and then Simmos, Haley, Wood, Mitchell, Gable, Clay, Massart, Davis, all out here tonight. So let's wait for cuts just to see. Caden Speck, he did cross the line 4th, but will he stay there? He will. Confirmed. In fact, James Armstrong didn't even have cuts. Wow, okay. Well, Armstrong definitely went hard down the inside across the start line. I thought for sure he missed a couple timing gates in the process, but somehow, some way, did not have cuts. And in the end, it is going to be Speck, Armstrong, Smith, and Deering headed to the main event here tonight. In fact, actually, Sean Smith got the win on cuts. I missed that out front, but Sean Smith did take the win on cuts because Deering had 1.45 seconds of cuts. And that gave a 1 second advantage at the end to Sean Smith. So that is the final four headed to the main events tonight here in Salt Lake City. It is main event time. Final round. Salt Lake City. Are you guys ready for the 9th round of the 250 East Championship and the 10th round of the 250 West Championship? Because they are happening at the same time in about 3 minutes here as we are about to get a restart in the server. And we will be showdown racing in Salt Lake City. Whoops. Running out of virtual memory. Y'all ready for this? I see that we have Sween Doggy hanging out in chat. Sween, I am in warm-up. But for those of you that have no idea, because I think a lot of people are so new to the community these days that you just don't even kind of remember this. Sween Doggy 18, who's in chat, and his buddy Wheels, Michael Wheeler, and Charles Adam Sweeney, who is Sween Doggy, started Race Factor Gaming with the help of JLV, Chris Riesenberg. I think Mark Zeidler even helped out a little bit back then. And yeah, so we owe a debt of gratitude to Sween Doggy 18 in chat for his time in putting this all together and running races back in the day and making this series what it is now. So everybody give a big thanks to Sween as Race Factor Gaming is about to complete their 9th SX season here tonight. Alrighty, East, West showdown, but more importantly is a championship decider here tonight. Only 10 points in it between Colby Eagland, Isaiah Dickerson, Dominic Tiberino. 5 points between each. Eagland with the red plate. And then 5 points back to Dickerson. And then another 5 points back to Tiberino. Man, it's a absolute party. I also see we got MX Tyson 21, which happens to be the GOAT in MX Simulator, greatest of all time. Tyson Fresquez, 4-time SX champion. Good to see him hanging out. Chris Riesenberg's here. Just everybody's having a blast. Star power at the finale. All right, folks. For the final time this season in the 250 class, it is time to go racing. Isaiah Dickerson, Colby Eagland, and Dominic Tiberino are fighting for a championship here in Salt Lake City. The rest is on the line for bragging rights. It's the 250 East-West Showdown at the finale. Not the best start for Dickerson. He got swallowed up. Eagland's got a good line down the inside, and he will stay up as a couple other guys went down. Dickerson looks like he's going to end up behind Eagland and maybe jump past him into second as Hubbard takes the RaceFactorGaming.com whole shot award. I see Dickerson down in the background. Eagland got a little out of shape. Right behind Hubbard is the 499 of Tanner Rogers as they try to pull away out front early on. Benjamin Saves finds himself in third. There is Eagland down the inside on the 24 trying to get past Copeland. I see Tiberino looks like he's in about 10th on the 77. No sign of Dickerson just yet. Defending East champion Isaiah Dickerson 5 points down in the championship to this man. Colby Eagland is well down the order as one lap is in the books, and big mistake there for Benjamin Saves allows Eagland up into third. And it is Jacob Hubbard leading here in Salt Lake City. Right now, running order early on, it is Hubbard from Rogers. Then we see Eagland up here in third. Copeland ahead of Kyler Hockey. Tyron Tomich has moved into sixth, and Daniel Mills is seventh. There is Dickerson. Dickerson already up to eighth. Richards ninth. Craig 10th. Saves Heilman, Sullivan, DeSalle. Then Tiberino's down on the start straight. Tiberino losing several positions as the riders flood around him, and he's watching his championship hopes slip away as his two title rivals run up ahead of him in the order. But the man everybody's got to watch is what is Colby Eagland going to do? He's got to stay on two wheels in the early runnings of this race, because if he were to go down and fall back to the clutches of Dickerson, then it is on! And oh my gosh, he almost went over the bars there. Meanwhile, Tanner Rogers, 2016 Toronto 250 main event winner, trying to run down Jacob Hubbard out front. Can he do it? In the early runnings here, Hubbard trying to hold on to the lead on the 46. Rogers on the 499. These guys all getting through the rhythm lane pretty clean. It looks like Rogers might actually be closing a little bit, and Eagland has just got to be loving every second of this. As Tiberino now listed in dead last, and he may actually be out of this main event, folks. Let's go back and take a look. No, he is still running. Tiberino on the 77 is still running right now. But he is dead last. Absolutely not where he wants to be, although he's going to get a spot here because Sullivan just went down. But he has got a mountain to climb to try to make it back up to these positions. Right now, Dickerson has found himself up into the 4 spot. So at the very least, he's only one position behind his teammate. And if Dickerson can go on and win this thing here tonight, he needs Eagland to finish in the 3 spot or worse. So at the very least, Dickerson is hoping that Rogers and Hubbard can hold on to these positions near the front as he tries to slice up and get to his teammate for a position. Look at this 2-rider train out front, though. 2 riders I would say are unexpectedly leading right now. Hubbard maybe not so much because he's great at starts and he gets some really good early pace. But Tanner Rogers has shown up here tonight in Salt Lake City and is making things interesting. Different options there as well. Rogers went 3-2 to Hubbard's 2-3. No idea if that's fast or not, though. You do get a little bit more airtime back onto the start straight, so you don't have to let off, per se. Oh, Rogers. Wow, how did he save that? He bounced in there hard. And you can see our 3 front three still very close together, and at any point this could turn into a battle for the lead that will potentially include Colby Eaglin just off the back there, and Isaiah Dickerson coming through the first turn in the background there. There's a mistake, Hubbard. Small mistake, but he regroups nicely. And Rogers didn't seem to gain much time off of that. Now remember, Dickerson is not running his skins tonight because he just wants to be absolutely sure he does not have any game issues, game crashing from virtual memory loss or anything like that. So when we see him on that number 1 machine, he'll be all stock, while his teammate Eaglin is trying to run down our 2 leaders. And goodness gracious, these guys running a pace that is torrid at the front. 59.3, a 59.2, and a 58.9, and then a 58.5 for Dickerson. So Dickerson's actually catching the lead 3, but it's even getting closer now, with Rogers starting to apply the pressure onto the back wheel of Hubbard. Tanner Rogers trying to pick up the showdown victory tonight in Salt Lake City. Jacob Hubbard's trying to hold him off and get his win as well. And Colby Eaglin's trying to win a championship here tonight. So this is going to be very interesting to see how the 24 plays it. Last thing he wants to do is get up here and go down, battling with these guys for the win. But he also doesn't want to allow his teammate Isaiah Dickerson to close in on him while these guys start battling for the lead, as Rogers might have an inside move here. Down the inside he goes, and he takes the lead. What a beautiful move. Tanner Rogers triple single down the inside, but he makes a mistake, and Hubbard puts him on the ground. Rogers stood it up on the outside of the berm, and Hubbard wasted no time in taking advantage of it. So Rogers gets going alongside Dickerson and will hold the position for the time being. But Dickerson's going to try to fight back here, and a mistake for Rogers. He's not going to get the preferred line, so this is going to be Dickerson's pass in the making, and he will get it done. Up into third goes Isaiah Dickerson. But as I mentioned, he wants Rogers to come with him because he does not want to lose this help in his battle with his teammate for the championship, because he needs at least one person to finish between them, if not more, if they don't win this race. Hubbard, 3-1, getting that clean still. Eaglin is definitely starting to close down, and Hubbard just made a mistake. There goes Colby Eaglin into the lead. Now this sets up a very different scenario, because Eaglin, instead of trying to play it safe and just manage the race, has to try to pull away and win this thing. He does not want to get these guys from behind attacking him and maybe even putting him down as they try to go for the lead. Look at how close this front group suddenly is. Eaglin, Hubbard, Dickerson, Rogers, and here comes Daniel Mills on the 31. No sign of our West champion, Brayton Carter, just yet, and Tiberino's climbed up to 13th, but that is not going to do it. It is all on the line for these front guys. So Colby Eaglin once again out front. Oh, he's down! He cased the triple out, and Hubbard crashes too! There goes Dickerson into the lead. Rogers into second. There goes Mills into third. Colby Eaglin is now losing the championship. What just happened? Isaiah Dickerson is in a position to win the title with half the race to go. Unbelievable. A complete flip. And Eaglin has to regroup and now bring Hubbard with him to this front group once again. But as it runs, it is a 2-point advantage in the championship to Dickerson, as he would repeat. Dickerson leads, Rogers second, Mills has snuck into third out of seemingly nowhere. He has found himself in this battle. And Colby Eaglin has got to be sweating bullets right now. He can see the people he needs to pass. He needs to get in a second. He's got to get around Mills and Rogers both. But that is a tall order, especially with how these guys have been riding tonight. Little mistake from Rogers. Mills has to check up because of that. It's allowing Dickerson to pull away. If these two get together, that would be massive for Eagland. And Dickerson out front. Fingers crossed they don't. Little mistake. Rogers almost had a moment there, and then there was a lapped rider down. That was Craig Richards on the 1. Look at this. Daniel Mills moving in a second. Rogers trying to fight back, going nearly side by side on the double. He tries to get the power down, but Mills completes the pass. Daniel Mills, winner at St. Louis earlier this year. He finished second last week at Las Vegas. And what happened? Eagland lost a little bit of more ground now last time by. It all comes down to this battle for second. Neither of these guys are fighting for the championship, but they mean so much to the championship because they are currently helping Dickerson win it. If they get together and Eagland moves back into second, Eagland is the champion. Whether or not they know that, I have no idea. They're probably just fighting for their own sake in this. And I bet Daniel Mills and Tanner Rogers, for that matter, would like to just go run down Dickerson out front and take the win. But with 5 minutes left on the clock, this is starting to look a lot like it's going the way of Dickerson. So Dickerson comes across the line again on to lap number 12. 10.5 minutes down, 4.5 minutes, and a lap left to go. All eyes right now on this battle for second, and whether or not Eagland can start reeling them in, or is he just now in salvage mode hoping they get together. He's still ahead of Hubbard. Doesn't have much to worry about there, especially now that Hubbard just went down. So at this point, Eagland probably guaranteed fourth, but that doesn't win him the championship. And third doesn't either, because he would tie Dickerson on points, but Dickerson gets the nod on wins. So he needs second, and he badly needs these guys to get together or something weird to happen. They both just made some mistakes, so they're not going to get the preferred line through here. It almost appears like Eagland needs to start running them down himself because he's just not in a position where these guys are going to get together and take each other out, but who knows? And who would have thought this championship? Whoa, man, Mills almost getting together. We got riders down, but it is not our leader. And lap traffic running amok right now. Dickerson has gotten away from some of it at least. And Mills trying to work around at 191. That's Heilman, I believe. Tiberino's up to 10th, but just nothing going to do it here for him with these guys out front unless some serious drama changes things here in these closing stages. And Eagland also trying to work through the lap traffic. There's just chaos going on everywhere right now. And Rogers still trying to reel back in Mills. Mills, oh man, so across right there. He moves out of the way. He's just trying to let people go by. This battle for second, it has been so close for so many laps. Like Rogers, yeah, Mills got by him, but he has not been dropped whatsoever. And if something were to happen to Dickerson out front, it is not out of the question these guys can sneak in there and take this win tonight, which would be huge for both of them. About to get hairy out front though. Oh, Mills a little short there on the triple out. Let's go out front though, because Dickerson has caught a trio of lappers and they're battling with each other. I'm not so sure they're going to move. It looks like they're battling for about 15th spot right now. That is going to be Blakely on the 21. Blakely on the 21. Just up the road is Jake Rose. So Dickerson now side by side with Blakely. He's going to go by him. And Blakely settles in behind him, and it is Rose, and I believe Luke Sullivan just up the road. Rogers has gotten back around Mills, and you can still see Eagland off the back of these guys. It is under 2 minutes and a lap to go, and Mills is starting to send it again. He wants to get back around Rogers for second, which is going to play into the hands of Eagland if he can get up to these guys. Dickerson is now disposed of Rose, as Rose is still ahead of Blakely, and now he's got to get around Sullivan. Oh, Dickerson a little short on that triple out, but responds nicely to it. Mills has gotten back around Rogers, and Eagland's up to third. Eagland is back into third, but he just made another mistake. It's going to cost him some time. Tanner Rogers has dropped back to fourth. This leaves them on a tie, but I believe, as I said, the tie goes to Dickerson on victories this season. So Eaglin needs to go run down Daniel Mills, but he can see him. And it's a minute and a lap left on the clock, and the championship on the line here in Salt Lake City. What has Colby Eaglin got in him? Can he make this happen? Does Daniel Mills run into some lap traffic problem here in the end? Does Isaiah Dickerson get together with a lapper? All these questions about to be answered in about 2 minutes time, because 30 seconds remain on the clock here in Salt Lake City, and the championship is hanging in the balance. Oh my goodness, Eaglin jumped off the side of the track and actually almost got clipped by Tiberino going the other way. Sullivan, a lap down, just got up from a crash as Eaglin goes by him. Dickerson went down! Dickerson went down with the lead! Daniel Mills is leading! Dickerson right behind him! Eaglin's right there! Unbelievable! Time has just expired. White flag is coming out next time by. Dickerson has got to pass Mills back. Eaglin in the lead of the championship as they run. He will be the champion if they finish in these positions, but something tells me Dickerson's about to make this move for the lead again. White flag going to be waving, and Daniel Mills trying to win his second race of the season, but meanwhile he's playing spoiler as Eaglin now closes up on Dickerson. The two title combatants run 2-3, and that would be a championship to Eaglin as the white flag is waving. Daniel Mills is leading here in Salt Lake City. Rider down is Rose. They all avoid him. And Dickerson sending caution to the wind here, trying to go get Daniel Mills for the lead. They're through the whoops clean. Dickerson, no response yet. He tucks the front wheel. There goes Eaglin. Eaglin back in a second. Dickerson down the inside, takes him out. Huge takeout. Dickerson puts him on the ground. He's just trying desperation stuff now because there's no chance these guys are getting to him. And Dickerson gets up, tries to put him down again. Eaglin cases. Dickerson back up in a second. One turn to go. Daniel Mills out of nowhere has won the showdown in Salt Lake City. Unbelievable last couple laps. Dickerson's going to bring it to the line in second, and it won't get it done. The 2020 East Region Champion, Colby Eaglin, across the line in third. Tanner Rogers will come across in fourth. Bobby DeSell over the line in fifth. Friedrichs all out of shape. Tiberino comes from 22nd to 6th in one of the most valiant efforts you'll see, but he still loses the title. Unfortunate for him. Tyron Tomich, Kyler Hockey, Tyson Craig, Braden Carter, the West champ, comes across in 10th. Tim Friedrichs, Jacob Hubbard, Chase Blakely. Wow. Benjamin saves. And Saves will be the last guy on the lead lap. He is in 14th position. And over the line, let's see, did cuts affect it? No! Confirmed! 2020 250 East Region Champion, Colby Eaglin by 3 points. When all is said and done, unbelievable. And we had talked, too, about the fact they were being, their teammates, MV Films teammates. I didn't look like teammates there at the end. Dickerson went for the absolute kill on Eaglin, but it was desperation attempt. Oh my goodness. Well, we have a new champion, folks. Colby Eaglin has just won his first Race Factor Gaming Championship. He dethrones his teammate who was the champ last year, Isaiah Dickerson. But how about Daniel freaking Mills, his second win of the season? After taking the win earlier in St. Louis, he was amazing last week in Las Vegas, but just got beat to the line by his teammate Braden Carter. Picking up the showdown victory here tonight. He must be thrilled with that. What an effort from the 31, and all the while playing spoiler there. Woo! Well, got to catch my breath after that one. I can't believe what just happened. Those last 5 minutes were some of the most tense and dramatic 5 minutes in racing you will ever see. And for a while there, that looked like that was Dickerson's championship. Dickerson crashed with the lead. It gave the lead to Daniel Mills. And then as he was trying to catch Mills back and take the win, which would have maybe been the championship given that Eaglin was too far behind Mills there. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine what would have happened had Dickerson passed Mills back and what that battle would have been like to the line. But instead, we got something absolutely insane between teammates that resulted in Colby Eaglin taking the championship here tonight in Salt Lake City. So congratulations, Eaglin. Of course, congratulations to Braden Carter for winning the West Championship, although he wrapped that up a little bit earlier, actually at the showdown at Denver a couple weeks ago. So Carter, the champion on the West, Eaglin champion on the East. And now it's time for the final race of 2020 in the SX Championship here. MotoOption SX, round number 17 of the 450 Championship coming up. And it's not necessarily a close championship battle, but there is still a championship on the line here. Seabolt and Colton Mitchell both trying to win their first ever 450 Race Factory Gaming Championship. And Mitchell 15 points down of Seabolt. It looks bleak, but still has a chance. Woo! Oh my gosh. Man, my heart's still beating. That was absolutely insane. That race. Boy, you want to know why these guys show up and race this championship? That's the kind of stuff that they live for right here. Whew. I haven't picked a 450 hole shot call. I've been just completely lost with everything. By the way, Jacob Hubbard, I believe it was, who picked up the hole shot in the showdown. $5 richer, courtesy of ATE Studios. 450 main event. I'll go Tyler Schmidt. Tyler Schmidt, final hole shot of the season. Why not? All right, folks, it is time. One final go around here in Race Factory Gaming SX, MotoOption SX here in 2020. The finale, the last 20-minute plus one lap main event of the season right now in Salt Lake City. A championship on the line. Two people who have never stood atop the box at the end of the season about to fight it out here in Salt Lake City. Will it be Seabolt? Will it be Mitchell? Or will somebody else spoil the party? Let's drop the game one more time in 2020 here at Salt Lake City. Down the start straight they come. Big jump from Schmidt. Let's see if he controls it through the corner, through the inside. Final hole shot of the year. Tyler Schmidt gets the whole shot and crashes immediately. Takes out half the field in the process, and it gives Walter Gebhardt the lead. But over top of him goes Jeremy Seabolt. Seabolt to the lead. Gebhardt right behind him. Didn't get a chance to see where Mitchell was. He may have been down in that melee, but Gebhardt trying to maybe help his teammate here. So Seabolt leads lap one, Gebhardt second. We got Caden Speck up near the front. Logan Leitzel, Fred Heather, Sean Smith, Joseph Pilsner, James Armstrong, Robert Wilson, Ash Deering, Bryce Whelan, Jeremy Cohenauer, Adam Holm, Hunter Root, Alexis Leclerc, for Zach, Holm Lang, and then Colton Mitchell. He is buried, folks, 19th. And this is looking like the fat lady's about to sing here, folks, because Seabolt running at the sharp end of the field, although we've got a lot of guys down. Look at this melee that Mitchell's coming up on. A lot of guys down in this corner. Mitchell just gained a couple more spots. He might get a few more in this whoop section as he shoots down the inside here. Look at that. Gebhardt was just down, so you see Gebhardt getting up from a crash there on the 5. He was out front there with Seabolt. Thank you, Alex Efforts. $5 richer is Tyler Schmidt for that hole shot, but $10 donation in chat. Alex Efforts, ATE Studios, courtesy of those hole shots, as Gebhardt just went down right there. Can't believe I called that right, though. That was pretty cool. All right, Seabolt checking in out front. Got a big lead already established. Looks like a little further back. Man, he's got a big lead. And it's Armstrong back there in second, and he's got close quarters behind him. He's got Robert Wilson. Is that Pilsner on the 58? As Wilson makes a pass in a second, and then here comes Pilsner on the 58 trying to move by. Whelan tries to get them both, and Leclerc's right there with lights on the 18. Oh, Wilson almost jumping off the track and crossing over. Hits his teammate and then jumps off the track himself. Now he's sideways, come back on the track, almost gets into Leitzel as Leclerc moves by. So Pilsner moves up into second. Leclerc's now in third. And it's all kicking off here. Mitchell has climbed his way up to 8th. But again, it really doesn't matter because Seabolt, with the lead and checking out front, pretty much putting himself in a cruise at home position to win this championship because he's establishing himself a big enough gap from everybody else in the field. Down the inside goes Leclerc into second, and he's going to complete that pass. He's getting that quad line, which is huge. And I'm curious what his lap time is going to be this time by. 12.7 seconds down on Seabolt, so he's actually gained just a tiny bit of time. Curious what the lap times will be. Leclerc doubles over in the back here. 58.2, 57.5 for Seabolt out front, so he just put in another 57 in his own right out front. But Leclerc with that quad lays down a 57.1, so he resets fastest lap of the race. Low 57 there. Just saw Gebhardt getting up from a crash on the other side of the track. Let's go back and find Colton Mitchell just coming over the finish line jump right now. And you got to give him credit because, as mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he was in pretty non-existent territory. Just a few rounds ago, Jack Haley looked like he was the man that would take this title to the finale with Seabolt. And then Mitchell won the last 2 weeks in a row and has made this title just a little bit more interesting down the stretch, although Seabolt looks like he's about to cruise this thing home. But got to give credit to Mitchell for not giving up until the end here. Got a little battle here brewing between Leitzel and Robert Wilson as Leclerc has kind of streaked away from these guys. You can see Leclerc just disappearing out of view, and Wilson putting in a really strong ride here on the BPC number 52. Gonna go 3-2 through here, the opposite line as Leitzel running. And you can see Armstrong starting to close up on Wilson as well, but Colton Mitchell on the 6, really applying pressure, and there goes Wilson. Armstrong makes a mistake, so Mitchell gets 2 spots there. He's up to 4th. Logan Leitzel, his next target to get into 3rd. Of course, Leclerc just up the road, and Seabolt checking in again out front. Let's take a look at lap times. 56.9, so Seabolt starting to lay down some burners, and he looks to be in complete comfort zone right now here in Vegas. No problem whatsoever out front. Let's take a look at Leclerc's lap time. Another 57.6, so Seabolt actually just ran the fastest lap of the race. Let's see, is he doing this quad? No, he's just going triple single here, so playing it safe and still running good times. Interesting tactic. go back and find ourselves a battle. Maybe this one here between Wilson and Smith, but that is coming apart a little bit. Maybe not. Wilson trying to fight back because Smith ran a little wide there, so Wilson right back onto his rear fender. Little dualies over the triple, and here's Wilson peeking down the inside again. Hits Smith. It stacks them both up in the corner, so by the time Smith gets going, he'll be ahead of Wilson. And here comes Heather getting passed by Frazaka, but cuts back underneath of him. Frazaka tries to hold the inside into the next corner. Let's see who comes out of the better end of this one. It is Frazaka down the inside that keeps the position. We also got Sean Smith getting the on-off triple out right there, big line. Bryce Whelan coming up behind him. We got a nice little freight train going right here, so while the leaders have definitely separated from each other out front, this little grouping back here from, well, about 6 back to 12-ish. Looks like it's still anybody's race. Ooh, little case there from Fred Heather for Zaka. He's pulled a small gap on him at this point. Well, more casing. Oh, down goes Heather. Takes down Wilson, I believe that was. So Adam Holm, Sean Smith goes by. Joseph Pilsner, Caden Speck. There's Tyler Schmidt. So yeah, these guys are actually back in about 15th position as we go down through the field a little bit. Let's peek back out front and see where things are at. Still Siebold leading through the whoops. Maybe closest battle will be Mitchell trying to close up on Leitzel for third. And Mitchell's actually, oh, just as I was saying that, he busted the quad. He might be stuck in the Davalos bales here. Let's see if he can get reset. He's kind of pinched up in there, but he's going to pull it out. Gets passed by Deering, passed by Armstrong. And yeah, Mitchell, I will say, definitely much more reputable than when he fell to the title against Leclerc, as that one fell apart pretty quickly back in Vegas in 2018. Didn't get a great start and then cartwheeled couple laps in and immediately was well down the pecking order. So still in a good position here to probably get a top 5, if not a podium, before all is said and done. But as Siebold continues to pull away out front, this is going to be finally his time to really shine here in Salt Lake City. And Siebold has been close to winning this championship before. This has not been his first go-around at the front of the field, but it will be his first 450 Race Factory Gaming Championship, and it's going to be curious times to see whether or not he can carry that momentum into the outdoors. But I think all he cares about right now is the fact that finally 18 weeks, 17 rounds, and a lot of hard work is going to pay off. And it is hard work. This is not just one of those run-of-the-mill games you pick up and some guys are fast, some guys are not. Some guys are definitely better than others, but it takes a lot of time and effort to get as good at this game as some of these guys are. And while they're usually a little bit modest, or whatever verbiage you want to use for that, and say that they don't put that much time into it, they had to put a lot of time into it at one point to get to this level. And paying off here, at least tonight for Siebold, with a great ride out front. Here's Leclerc back in second still. And he's just putting in a good, solid effort. Going to be a season of what if for Leclerc, unfortunately. He was really great from about round 6 onward, but he straight up missed the main event at the opening round and then skipped the next 3 rounds. Came back, won a couple rounds mid-season. Definitely still one of the greats in this game and one of the fastest at this present time. But unfortunately, it's pretty tough to win a championship when you miss 4 main events, as he's learned this season. Behind him, Logan Leitzel putting together a really good main event so far here halfway through. The Mad Cape number 18 ride was actually in for a shot at winning the championship on the East Coast 250 class earlier this season, and that kind of fell apart a little bit late down the stretch. So tonight he is elected to race the 450, even though he was still in a bit of a championship battle there in that 250 East region. But it looks like the move is paying off so far, because he'll end up on the box as things run. It looks like Mitchell's moved back into the 4th spot, gotten around James Armstrong, who's making his triumphant return to racing tonight with a great ride inside of the top 5. Jeremy Smith back here ahead of Ash Deering on the 20, and they're commencing battle over 6 right now. Smith, of course, earlier in the season was also battling for the championship. No wins, but a lot like Jack Haley up until the end of the season here, Smith's consistency hauled him into a great position to fight for the championship, and at one point was actually only a few points down. But unfortunately for him, it unraveled late, and he'll be looking to outdoors to try to turn it around, and the second half of this race to turn around that crash, because he just lost a couple more spots as Deering and Tyler Lang both go by. Kevin Verzaka has made the move. Jeremy Smith gets going. He's still ahead of Adam Holm. We got Robert Wilson coming through, Jeremy Cohenauer behind him, and then a slur of people here. We got Sean Smith just ahead of Tyler Schmidt, then a crash by Fred Heather puts Hunter Root facing the wrong way. He gets passed by Caden Speck and Joseph Pilsner. Let's see if Speck sizes up an inside move on Pilsner here. Double down the inside, gets it done. Rider down in the whoops was Schmidt. Pilsner had to take some evasive maneuvers to avoid that, and we see Leclerc putting these guys a lap down, so this is pretty much sealing the deal. I did it again. Press the wrong stupid button. Always windows me out of the game. The fact that these guys have lapped up to, what are we at now? Leclerc is behind Caden Speck, which means that 14th, yeah, so if in front of 13th, yeah, this has basically sealed the deal on the championship at this point for Jeremy Seabold, because even if he were to have some mystery fall apart situation, he's a whole lap ahead of where he needs to be in the championship. So as we get closer down the stretch, basically by the time he takes the white flag, he has sewed up the championship. So Seabold, essentially, I should say, on cruise control out front. Still got Leclerc, Leitzel, Mitchell, Deering up into 5th. And Tyler Lang has quietly been putting together a really good race, and I've been confused all night because I thought it was his teammate, Jeremy Cohenauer, who is actually number 13, and Tyler Lang is number 14. But appears to have selected the wrong bike in the order there, and has his teammate's bike in this main event. No harm, no foul. You can see he's got the number 14 on the back of his jersey, so at least he's running one thing right. But he's running in the wrong direction right there as he's gone down. Let's see how many spots he loses. That was not a position. Well, one of them was. Armstrong went by. There goes Smith for a position, and Lang gets on just ahead of Verzaka, so he lost 2 spots in the process there. Verzaka, Cohenauer, here is the real number 13. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the season. 5 minutes and 1 lap left in the 2020 MotoOption SX season. And Jeremy Cohenauer probably going to be a little bit happy with not only finishing top 10 here tonight, it should solidify top 10 in the championship for him, and he doesn't have to host a race next week, so I'm sure he's a little bit relieved there. Nothing close going on out front, though. Seabold in cruise control, as mentioned. And let's actually take a look at lap time check to see who's got the fastest. 56.4 for Seabold. Is he busting the quad? Nope, still triple single. Leclerc, 56.6, just ran his best lap of the race last time by, but it's still not matching that 56.4. Let's see if Leclerc busts the quad. He does. That is incredible. So I wonder where Leclerc is losing time, because he seems to be doing the bigger line there, which would probably save him, honestly, about a half a second to downside that quad there. Gets this triple clean, over table, triple out. Maybe just not getting that as smooth and just not getting the power down out of the stadium. I don't know, just little things here and there. It doesn't seem like much, but they add up over an entire lap. So let's see what Leclerc runs this time by. There's a 56.4, so he matches Seabolt's best lap. We won't know the hundreds or thousands of seconds until after the race is over, but we're basically just watching a bit of a lap time challenge going on out front, and 8.8 seconds is the gap Leclerc has got this thing down to now with Seabolt out front. So if Seabolt starts getting into some problems here, as he's now caught some lap traffic here for Zaka and Armstrong, who are both in the top 10. In fact, he's lapping up to 8th if he can get around James Armstrong. He may have himself an issue trying to weave through these guys. Armstrong gonna let Seabolt go by, so he's now lapped 8th. Like I said, nothing but good news for him. At this point, he probably doesn't care that much about that, but basically wrapping up the championship before it's over, theoretically, because when he takes the white flag, those guys will no longer be able to pass him any longer. Seabolt now gets around Jeremy Smith, lapped up to 7th. You can see just up the road is Tyler Lang. And Walter Gebhardt, who is a couple laps down at this point now, still finding himself in the midst of all these guys kind of battling. Leclerc still back here. Mitchell. And there is Lang, as you can see. He is in the 6th spot, but he's got the blue bar because right behind him is Jeremy Seabolt. So Seabolt goes through. He's now lapped up to 6th. Going to be a little ways before he gets to Deering for 5th, but it does allow Lang to fall back into the clutches of Jeremy Smith here, and all these guys still have a lot to fight for as Gebhardt goes down, but again, he's a lap behind these guys. So let's see if Jeremy Smith can size up a move here on Tyler Lang. He goes triple single. Seems to be the preferred line. He's going to get a drive here. Does he tuck inside? He is going to, and blocks the line. Nice move, but Lang fights back and holds the position into the corner, so Smith just could not quite get that power down. Nice little back and forth battle there, and you can see Armstrong behind these guys. Smith trying to size up an opportunity once again, swings wide. Seems like that inside though is preferred. Look at the scrub there though from both riders, really. Over the finish line jump they go. Ooh, Lang off the side of the track, not going to get the preferred line, and Smith takes advantage of it, moves up into the 6th spot. And all these guys are about to have an earful of Alexis Leclerc before long as he's trying to catch up to them. And Seabolt's kind of pulling away from these guys ahead of them. So now Lang falls back into the clutches a bit of James Armstrong here, and let's see what Armstrong can do. He just makes a small mistake on his own. A little bit of a case there from Lang, but no harm, no foul. They're still trying to run down Jeremy Smith just up the road, so tight little pack here for sure. So who's going to make the first budge in this situation? Can Armstrong catch and pass Lang? Will Lang regroup and run down Jeremy Smith just up the road of him? Oh, we got to change for the lead. Leclerc has gone to the lead. Something happened. Jeremy Seabolt was down and off the side of the track maybe, so I didn't quite see him. Either way, though, Leclerc into the lead with really just about a lap and a half to go, I would say. Time has now expired. So Seabolt may not win the battle, but he is about to win the war here tonight. And there is Lang and Armstrong side by side. Armstrong trying to shut the door, still side by side. Oh my gosh, contact. Oh, Lang does not ride it out. He goes down. And there goes Seabolt to to lap Lang once again. But again, Leclerc is the man out front. Oh no, Seabolt's gone back out. What happened to Leclerc? He is so far behind Seabolt now suddenly. So Leclerc, man, we're just missing all the action up front, but a lot of chaos going on in the midst of the midfield battles. Either way though, it is a glory lap for Jeremy Seabolt. He's going to pick up his 6th win on the season. And with it, his first ever 450 Supercross championship in this game. And what a season it's been. Up and downs all around. A championship that lasted all the way to the final round as well. And Seabolt will come out victorious. He will possess that red plate when we come back racing next year. And a well-deserved championship all the same. Out of the stadium one more time. And then back into the stadium the final time in 2020. Your 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion, Jeremy Seabolt, takes the win in Salt Lake City. Leclerc, he's going to take 2nd. Leitzel nearly caught him for 3rd, and then Mitchell's right there in 4th. So this was close all the way to the line. So Mitchell, a valiant effort, comes up short. He'll be 2nd in the championship, though, with that 4th. Ash Deering, Jeremy Smith, James Armstrong, Tyler Lang ended up a lap down, Jeremy Cohenauer, Adam Holm, Caden Speck, Joseph Pilsner, Hunter Root, Sean Smith, Fred Heather, Robert Wilson, Tyler Schmidt, Walter Gebhardt, Spencer Turley, Ian Holm, and Bryce Whelan rounds out the running order at the finale here in Salt Lake City. But the champion, Jeremy Seabolt. What a season it has been. And wrapping up here in Las Vegas, we'll wait for cuts to come in. And they have now been confirmed. Top 10 stays the same. Top 15 stays the same. And everybody stays the same. Cuts did not change a thing. And your 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion, Colby Eagland. Jeremy Seabolt is your 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion. Colby Eagland won on the East earlier, though. If you missed that, you definitely want to rewind the stream and check that out. Braden Carter, 250 West champion, in a season that has been incredible, undeniably so. We are now complete. Salt Lake City is in the books, and the 2020 championship is in the books. Again, from all of us here at Start Your Systems, Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, and everybody else who helps out with these broadcasts, we want to extend a huge thank you to you guys for year after year, tuning in week after week, making these broadcasts just an absolute treat for us to be able to bring to you guys. Couldn't have done it without you guys week after week, making things so much fun. And we really, really appreciate it. Of course, everybody at RaceFactoryGaming.com for all the effort they put in. MotoOption Clothing, again, 9th year sponsoring as the title sponsor of the MotoOption Supercross Series. Race Tech Suspension, Tagger Designs, RC Underground, MXS Lobby, also for being involved. Just everybody that makes this entire event possible every single season and every year. We can't thank you guys enough for making this all such an enjoyable experience, and we can't look forward to racing again in 2021. But we are now finished with the 2020 MotoOption Supercross season, and we'll be able to provide updates for you guys when outdoors will start here in the game and when GPs and all that other stuff may go off. But for Kellen Brower here and all of us at Start Your Systems, thanks for watching the 2020 MotoOption Supercross Series, and we'll see you guys next season.